Over the past number of weeks, Canadian security agencies have been actively pursuing credible allegations of a potential link between agents of the government of India and the killing of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. Our top priorities have therefore been, one, that our law enforcement and security agencies ensure the continued safety of all Canadians, and two, that all steps be taken to hold perpetrators of this murder to account. Canada has declared its deep concerns to the top intelligence and security officials of the Indian government. Last week at the G20, I brought them personally and directly to Prime Minister Modi in no uncertain terms. Any involvement of a foreign government in the killing of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil is an unacceptable violation of our sovereignty.
The justice system itself has been kind of, I think, failed in these moments in the past where trade deals and diplomacy and all these types of things come into play. So human rights, if it's actually at the forefront of our agenda, then I would say like the justice system should do its work, its job, find the people that actually did this. If Canada is actually declaring that India is an actual actor in this, I think that's a first step towards acknowledging and a first step towards justice. But until we actually see people behind bars, until we see actually people that were, supplying, money for this hit, carrying this out, I think it's kind of like skepticism right now that as if something's actually going to happen. And that just comes from a long, I think, list of things that have happened in the past where we don't really see that justice, whether it's in India or whether it's here. I think the wave of support that we saw post his death is just a small indication of how big of a stature Hardeep Singh had in the entire Sikh community internationally. This thing, it shook the community across the entire world, including in Punjab. Before us growing up, we always heard stories that as in like this would happen to you if you were in Punjab, that if you spoke out against the government that you could be tortured and killed. And we grew up with those stories our whole life, and then watching it transpire right before us, that somebody that was so eloquent, so like as in kind, so respected within the community internationally was gunned down on a gurdwara, at a place of worship, where we actually gather for all of our social and political and faith-based needs.
The allegations that a representative of a foreign government may have been involved in the killing of a Canadian citizen here in Canada, on Canadian soil, is not only troubling, but it is completely unacceptable. If proven true, this would be a grave violation of our sovereignty and of the most basic rule of how countries deal with each other. We've been clear, we will not tolerate any form of foreign interference. As of today, and as a consequence, we've expelled a top Indian diplomat from Canada. Tonight I'm heading to New York, where I'll be having dinner with the G7 foreign ministers. Of course, I will be raising this issue with them. It is the UN General Assembly, and therefore I will be meeting with many of my counterparts from around the world. Right now, we know we are in an international security crisis. And one of the fundamental rules behind the world's stability and security is the protection of each country's sovereignty. And we see this possible breach of sovereignty as completely unacceptable.